How we doing? How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. I'm just getting things set up. Hope you're well. Is there supposed to be sound? There should be some sound. There should be something. At least a little bit of me. Welcome in, welcome in. Social, what the hell? Social contracts? Yeah, sure. All right, fine. Righty. I'm running late, and two, I am not prepared. I got back late last night, so I am very quickly trying to play catch up this morning. Save us to not miss the schedule. But hope everybody had a good Easter. It is still technically Easter Monday, which is a day off for a whole bunch of people. But on the basis of that, we don't live by normal rules. No. I was Noble Garden started as well. That might be something to do today. Is there anything new for Noble Garden this year? Sometimes they do change these things up, don't they? Sometimes they change things up. I do wish the process of loading all of these accounts was easier. It kind of roughly can be, but it requires me to do fancy things with config files. And I can't remember how to do fancy things with config files. So, since I'm in a rush, we'll just hack it together normally. The last one. Get some rares killed. Have a little bit of look. Oh yeah, Noble Garden. Literally 3 minutes ago. Well, there we go. We can go Noble in the garden. Whilst we kill some rares, maybe. Right, and you can sit down there. Okay, right. Righty. I'm all out of sync as well this morning, to be totally honest. I've not had any breakfast. First sip of coffee of the day. First sip of coffee. I'm all out. I'm all out of practice. You take 2 days off and you lose track of what's going on with the world. We don't need that anymore. Is Team YouTube up and running? Team YouTube is up and running. Good. Twitch still hasn't decided that it's going to let me stream in 4K, which is kind of annoying. I'll try my best to figure that out at some point soon. I'm sure there's Wowhead news we need to catch up on as well. I'm sure there's all sorts of stuff we need to do. Of course, nothing is posted. Have I reset up my groups? Mechanica mounts. That's not the right one. Mechanica mount. That's the right one. Delete that so I don't accidentally use it. We're back to multi-account farming. I was always trying to get it. Like, I bought the accounts and I paid for a month of game time. So for this calendar month until the game time runs out, I should definitely do something with it. Try and get the process up and running. As there's, you paid for it, you should use it sort of thing. I'm still not hyper optimal with it though. All my characters being on one realm is actually somewhat frustrating for doing this because you rely on realm hopping a lot, but 25 times the price of a Mechanica, 50 times the price of a Mechanica, and if you happen to be the only one posting it, pick a big number. Okay, that makes sense. I need to duplicate that, and we call it Mechanica Pet 5, I guess, which is 5 times the price of a Mechanica. Probably 10 times the price of a Mechanica in the same scenario. $20 times the price of a Mechanica, or like 3 million gold. I think. I haven't got any of the pets on me right now, so I can't actually build the groups up, but that's a starting point. I have a custom price source for Mechanica, so I can determine what I feel is the actual price. It's just a simple, it's a custom operation, but it's just a simple gold value right now. We can put 5, what are the names of the pets? What's the names of the pets? Mechanica. Currency 4, Meko Nofa, 5s, 8, and then 1. Okay. Mecha Gopher. Let's do it by base item. You go in 5s. Flunky. Steam Weedle Flunky. You go in 5s. Companyman. Venture Companyman, you go in 5s. Keg Mover. And then the Crimson Mechasaur. Crimson Mechasaur is a 10. And Professor Punch is an 8. Okay. Doesn't seem to be much new since they changed it last year, but can't really tell. The yeah, I don't imagine they'll have done too much with Noble Garden, but just considering that we are now in a new expansion, sometimes, you know, things scale or they add new stuff or stuff goes weird, you know. Right, okay, so there's the pets in there. We need to assign the operation of pets 5 there. Hope you enjoyed your holidays. Yeah, I mean, it was nothing more than my usual 2 days off in the week. I was busy on Friday. I'm back today, but yes, otherwise Easter was good. We ran off and we ate lots of chocolate and, you know, ate lamb and, you know, do the usual Easter things. It was good fun. Hope everybody had a good Easter. It's a good opportunity, especially if you are partway through a 4-day week, 4-day weekend to chill out, relax. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Right. I need to duplicate these a little bit. Duplicate that to Mechanica Pets 8, where we will have a minimum price of 8 times the value of Mechanica. And then we always double it for the maximum, which is 16, and then it's doubled again for when we're only the normal person. And then we double it again, or maybe not double it again, but you know what I mean. 10 Mechanicas. 10 Mechanicas, 20, 40, something like that. I don't know. Is it not holidays in your country? Yeah, but I mean, I don't exactly live by normal rules, do I? You know, I am my own boss. I decide when I work and when I don't. But yes, it is a national holiday today. The wife is not working today. She's kindly going to the Lidl because we got home late last night and had no breakfast, so she's kindly gone to get some food. Right, let's get that listed then. Get some stuff listed. That dude is done. Alright. Let's get these guys logged on. So we're in the city. Check on crafting orders real fast. We'll do a few of those. Don't mind if I do. Cash money on Patreon orders. This is a habit I need to get into more. Do I want knowledge point for 70 gold? Sure. Let's go check leatherworking real fast. Yeah, so today I'm really that's tailoring, not leatherworking. I'm really just kind of in a catch-up mode a little bit today. I'm going to kill some rares because I feel as if I should be using these to my advantage a little bit. Kill some rares while I get up to speed again. We'll see if there's anything interesting going on with Noble Garden, maybe. Since that's up and running today. And then maybe see if we head back into the division for a bit later. I'm not sure if I really need arson security for really anything, but 30 of it basically for free. Oh, we saw some deadly rubies. We take those. There's some concentration being put to use. Okay, I'm just filling out the last tree with jewel crafting now. It's going to take a little while, but I don't need to worry about it too much in terms of spending the points. I just need to accrue the points. I put 20 points into quick rubies first because these are ones I use in my own gear quite frequently, so it made sense to be able to make those at Q3. That's fine though. Leatherworking, I think we're in the same boat. I just need to pad out whichever one I decide to make a piece of gear for. That's a good point. Did I actually finish all my delves and stuff for the week? I think I did. Yeah, we got our our vault fully padded for the week. We did our gildeds. And I also believe then I'm probably capped on crests anyway, aren't I? Yeah, 630 out of 630. We can't get any more runed undermined crests. Can't get any more carved crests. Can't get any more weathered crests. We're capped all over the place on those. Those 90, though, in theory, those 90 can be converted into 30 more of these. 30 more of those will be 80, which is 15 more of those. Okay, we can do some creative accounting. We can buy the tokens. We probably won't be able to spend them because we've already hit the cap, but
we have slept long enough.
So we can buy one of them. Item is locked. Oh, you can't even buy the upgrade ones if... Oh, interesting. Okay. So, well, at least that's the first thing we can do next week then. Is just upgrade those. Make getting the cap a bit easier. Can I upgrade something then with those runed crests? I think I'm at the point where I don't... yeah. I don't have any need for runed crests at all. Other than if I was to maybe look at replacing this ring, which is something we might be doing soon. Sears circlet might need a replacement. Have I got a hero track ring anywhere? 649 ring? No. Maybe a ring from the vault next week wouldn't go amiss. A ring from the vault, a back piece to replace this champion piece, or a neck. Neck, cloak, or ring next week would be really nice. Okay, we just need gilded crests now. 662 is as high as we're getting right now.
Good health to you.
It's full spark week next week, isn't it? Full spark week will also mean that we'll be able to make another 675 piece of crafted gear. Where are we going to slot that in? Well, realistically, that can fix any one of the problems that we don't fix by the vault, isn't it? We could either craft a neck, we could craft a cape, or we could craft a ring. Which, if we don't get one out of the vault, we'll craft one. Even if we do get one out of the vault, we'll craft the other, and vice versa. Somebody said I want crafted shoulders. Crafted shoulders because the verse is poo for a BM hunter. I don't know how true this is. I mean, it feels pretty true. Crit mastery on the helm. Crit haste on the chest. Crit haste on the gloves and crit mastery on the legs. Means I probably swap the shoulders out for a piece of crafted gear, is the theory. Because it gets rid of the verse, which is not something we really want. Another reason to replace this is because it's got verse on it as well. If we're getting hypercritical about things. Anyway, okay, let's head into... Is that Mechanica? No. Let's head down into the Undermine, start killing some bears, shall we? Oh, okay.
Overflowing barrels of slime are all over the vat works. Empty them and let the
Invite
slime
macro,
run into the river
boom.
and complete the slime cycle.
There's everybody.
Can you
I mean, if
believe
Rats
what
is
this
up, I'll
means?
kill Rats.
We got a rat problem. Deal with it, will ya?
Kill Rats for my own personal... Oh my god. Oh, Nitro's up as well. Oh my god, it does actually look like both Tally and Nitro might be up. And here's me wasting my time killing rats. Tally's up and not pulled. Very interesting. No rally, no rally, no rally. Okay, Tally's dead. Can we get to Nitro? Nitro still seems alive. And what in the world? Bring the puppy this way, please. Oh, we can get thwack as well. That would be a right wombo combo. A lovely wombo combo to start.
We don't got real
Oh my.
but we got the next best thing. Fix them up so they shine nice and
Just found a blessed shard too with every single one of the daily rares up. Yeah, they clearly exist if you get lucky. Welcome in, Bakoto. Good morning. I just need I need Swigs up, and I've complete the set. We can get Swigs. We're done. Somebody's waiting for Swigs. Okay, I need to contemplate doing the weeklies on this team. Might not be the worst time or opportunity to do the weeklies because this shard seems pretty good. If we get these guys up to up north, see if we can get Flyboy. Grimewick's there. That's not perfect. That's not perfect, but since it's a thing, we might change the route slightly. That is assuming I can get them all there fast enough. It's really weird because it's been a few years since I've done multi-boxing sort of properly, but with the newer restrictions in place in terms of how you're able to do it, it feels so much more inefficient now, full stop. Right, you're dead. That would be really nice if Junk Wall was just going to be there. Be really nice if Junk Wall had just spawned about now. Be really nice. Junk Wall or Flyboy. We'd take either of them right now. Maybe while I wait for those, I'll go get a Dark Fuge canister. Because I bet I don't have one of those on me, do I? Nope. So let's go get one of those canisters. So then we can go up north, do Scrap Chewer. It's this way somewhere. Is it here? I should keep a few of these on me, really.
You been followed?
Whoa, 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 not the coat. Relax. Keep a bonus one, in case things go wild.
Watch your back.
Even these dumpsters are rarely being touched these days. It feels weird. Dumpsters are literally less than 1% chance on the old Mechanicas, but still kind of still worth picking them up. 1% chance is better than a 0% chance. Plus the occasional piece of mog out of them is always worth. Right, no Junk Wall, no Flyboy. Is that a don't mind if I do. I'll just fly around picking up treasures while I wait. It's easier. While we wait for spawns. Double check Flyboy, just because he's right in the corner. There's nobody out here with a 2x4 farm. I've kind of half suspected that his spawn rate is linked to these guys over here. But I'm not easily able to prove that. I know full well that if I move these dudes up north, then Junk Wall will spawn. And if I leave them there, Flyboy will spawn. Literally going to be... Wherever they are not will be the rare that spawns nearly every time. Guaranteed. Lady Daisy, welcome in. Good morning, good morning. Hope you've had a good Easter so far. That is assuming Easter's everybody's thing. I kind of forget that, you know, Easter is kind of it's a religious holiday, isn't it, really? But I assume most people do the Easter thing. I mean, heck, good excuse to eat chocolate, right? Either way. I don't celebrate anything. Oh, that's another way to do it. That is another way. Yeah, I mean, kids' birthdays are important, sure.
Great job. Now they'll think twice before smuggling black blood with Pamsy's crew around.
Trash can. Dumpster. At least the world quests and stuff can keep me occupied while we wait for these rares to spawn. Make it feel like we're doing something constructive in the downtime. Holiday is an excuse to eat too much good food. Well, that's true. I do not really want to even think about the calorie intake yesterday. I'm sure it's not the healthiest. Scalpers. Let's get scalpers done real quick. Where are all of these rares? Why are they refusing to spawn? What's that? 4 of 8. Patch day tomorrow. Yeah, 11.15 turning up tomorrow, of course, for Team NA. Wednesday for us over on Team EU. Leveling month is going to begin with a little bit of a boost to leveling. Good time to get those alts leveled up if you haven't already. And moreover, there's the new scenario, the on the hour, every hour scenario. Anything gold-wise to do? At this point, it doesn't seem likely. There's obviously, from collector's perspective, lots of stuff to do. You're looking at lots of Lots of new pets and stuff to collect. A few pets, a few mounts. There's a 10 path. There's a 10 tier renown path for the new faction. There isn't a contract or anything for it though. It's just basically a case of, you know, go do it. There's part of me that thinks that we will start to see... Is that Flyboy? I told you Flyboy would spawn soon as we're not there.
And absolutely no airflow. Perfect day for a race.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the event quite frequently the next few days. Alright, let's get this dude nuked down nice and fast. Now, I personally haven't really taken a look at this new event on the PTR. Mostly because it's an intermediate patch and it seems like a bit of a nothing burger, to be honest. The thing for me that was appealing about the new patch was going to be the heroic visions, but of course they're, you know, time gated, so yeah. With them being time gated, I guess we'll wait a few more weeks to do the heroic visions. Bit of Chief Foreman action. We'll get there in a minute. Hello, wife. Have you been to the store? Nice one. Right, please hold, boys and girls. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Alrighty. Where did we get to? You go do some looting. I play multi-account quite actively, to be honest, still missing 380,000. Yeah, resonance crystals ridiculous. I would like to second that notion that resonance crystals are actually ridiculous. There's, well, I think one of the big reasons is that from Season 1 delves, all of the stuff that took undercoins now takes resonance crystals as well, which is a huge number. Huge number that was added on top, which, if you're the kind of player that often will leave a lot of that sort of stuff towards the end of the expansion, you're going to be in the doo-doo by the time we get there. We could be looking at 1 million+ resonance crystals to collect stuff by the time we actually get there, which I think is bonkers, to be honest. Actually bonkers. Right, what's this debuff on me? Blood bash, okay. Right, let's head down and hope Junk Wall spawns. soon, quickly, while I get the opportunity to eat some breakfast. Wife bought me a nice little mini pizza. I'm guessing the choice was limited this time of the day on Easter Monday. Oh, Sal's up. That's oh, and flipping hell, Sal and Swigs. All right, fellas, you got to come back, I'm afraid. You got to come back for the Swigs kill. Oh, hang on, Swigs is dead. Shit. You watch, now I've flown them back. Well, can we load a couple of them in the car? A couple of them in the car so we can go get Sal. Okay. Well, he's not been pulled. Let's see if we can get the other two. This doesn't always work because rares don't end up being available for very long, but oh no, we did alright this time. Converted 83,000 cola cans into caches, ended up with 8k resonance crystals plus some golden pets. Was hoping for more crystals, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I remember in the tail end of Dragonflight, farming the Dragon Isle supplies, you could like hyperspawn farm about 8k of those an hour at the end of the expansion. I'm hoping there'll be some hyperspawns sort of opportunity for resonance crystals towards the end, because we might need it if we try and collect everything, you know. Never lucky. Right, let's get these fellas back. Okay, right, they're good. Let's just camp out Swigs for a minute, because he's the absolute definitely must get one for right now. Any others are merely a bonus, so. Resonance crystals, let's have a look, shall we? I've got 107,000 of them, 108,000 of them across my toons. ATT seems to say I need 468,000 to collect everything. Now, I don't care really anywhere near as much about the MOG, so if I can get all the pets, the mounts, the toys, that sort of stuff, I'm happy. You cut 83,000 cola cans. How did you end up with so many cola cans? What kept you trash farming for so long? I've only got like 5,000 of them. Were you using it to get market research for Dark Fuge, maybe, instead of doing the 2x4 farm? Yeah, it was quite popular for the rep, I suppose. And it kind of annoys me not being Warbank transferable. It has and it has been. They keep flip-flopping it. Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. Is it in the isn't category right now? Yeah. If you buy the catch-up gear, though, for alts, that's warbound anyway, so... But you are right. It's a bit annoying that you have to go on to the character that's got the currency. I really hope in the next expansion they do the currency tab properly. It seems like such a hacked together solution right now. The way that it works, this kind of like every character still collects currencies themselves and then you can transfer them about. My question very quickly was, well, why aren't all the currencies just instantly stored in a warbank storage, you know? And then any character can pull from them. We also kind of half thought that gold was going to do exactly that. That they might just make gold truly a warbound currency, and that any of it you acquire is just instantly available to use on any character. There's clearly spaghetti code reasons to why that didn't happen, and why I think we have this kind of like band-aid feeling currency transfer system in the game right now. It's clearly because, well, look, let's not forget also just how many flipping issues they've had with currencies this expansion. How many times have they had to turn the currency transfer off? And the only reason they turn it off is because somebody finds out how to duplicate stuff with it. So it's clearly causing them problems. 20 years of spaghetti code, which is easily understandable to why they then didn't get it right the first time for the expansion launch, but it would still be nice if they could get it working properly, you know. Come on, Swigs, where are you? Coffee and cold pizza is an interesting combo for breakfast. I still need to do the Dark Fuge, dude, which we can summon. I need to do Scrap Chewer, which we can also summon. So that's some easy things to do. This ephemeral agent, dude, I never really bother killing it on the bonus accounts. Too much like hard work. Gonna have to wait for Swigs, unfortunately. Swigs is a non-negotiable kill every day. For some reason, Swigs seems to have a higher drop rate than quite a lot of the rares. When you look here, Swigs is like, yeah, go away. Swigs is an easy 3%er. Whereas a lot of the other weeklies, sorry, a lot of the other dailies are like 1 to 2% chance. Like, killing Swigs is like killing Tally twice, basically. So it's kind of a non-negotiable to get Swigs killed every day. Sal's another one that I always make the effort when I get presented the chance to, because it's really good. And all of this just makes me think more and more and more that this was a very cleverly and carefully designed system, which is why I don't think they're changing it. I feel somebody internally at Blizzard put an awful lot of time and effort into, calculating and balancing this, which is probably why, almost irrespective of what people say about the drop chance on these, somebody internally is like, no, we ain't changing that. I spent far too much time on that. You can get bent. I've actually stopped tracking the exact number of Mechanicas. Mostly because I don't instantly loot them on all the other accounts. They filter through to the mailbox and I open the mailbox every once in a while. If you've just come back recently, Miscellaneous Mechanica basically is a super rare little item. Do I have one in my bags to show you? No, not to hand. But Miscellaneous Mechanica is a rare item that can then be traded for one of 3 different mounts or 5 different pets. This thing, Miscellaneous Mechanica. They're linked to basically single-digit drop chances on daily and weekly rares in the new zone. They can also come from Paragon boxes for the new factions, new sub-factions. They can also come from the overflowing dumpsters in the zone. But the reality is that it can often take people a good few hours of farming just to get one of these. When you look at what they're a currency for, you need 25 of them to convert into a mount. Between 5 and 10 of them to buy the pets. All of these can be listed on the auction house as well. So from a goal making perspective, it's, very worth doing. But yes, for most normal people out there, the drop rate on these is just like outrageously low. But this is what makes me think that somebody internally at Blizzard designed this in a very specific way, knows full well that they're going to be difficult to get, and so made sure that they could all be cageable or traded on the auction house. So then people have an alternative and there's a market generated around them. It additionally incentivizes players like myself to go out of their way and do clever things in order to get them and supply them to the people that want them. The rate in which they're listed on the auction house will only ever reflect the amount that somebody is willing to pay for them, for the most part. There is some variance in that, of course, but it's ended up being so far that the mounts are selling for in the region of like 2 to 3 million gold apiece. And the pets are somewhere in the region of about like 400 to 700,000 gold each. People are getting pretty desperate to sell. It's fallen like 1.2 million on the auction house over a couple of days. Well, there'll be, the Easter break is going to clearly do things to incentivize people to try and get theirs sold. But if we... What's going on my realm right now? What I don't have on this account is the profile with them all in. Well, let's just do... Mounts. Margin Manipulator 3.5 mil, Asset Advocator 1.8, Innovation Investigator 1.4. These are crazy cheap prices. These are very cheap prices. Regional sale average is 1.8 mil still. These are wildly cheap prices. I wouldn't be overly surprised if somebody swoops in and cleans out some of these, to be honest, at those prices, because that's wild. Simply based on the time, effort, and understanding needed to even acquire them. That's like basically saying that's basically 20k an hour. These prices are somewhere in the region of about 20k an hour worth of farming. It's and both myself and a few other prominent content creators have the opinion that these will get tanked in price pretty heavily during the period of time where this content is the current content. We're kind of slowly already moving out of that now. There's way less people, by the looks of things, playing and farming the zone. Second to that, as soon as everybody else does move on, and the amount of people farming in this zone like gets less and less and less and less and less, there'll be less and less and less and less and less of these pets and these mounts turning up. Meaning that the people that do have them have far more ability to basically set the price on them. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I think getting it set up probably is likely to be a good little farm for in the future. Not because it will get any easier, but just purely on the basis of the fact there'll be less people doing it. And I know historically there has never ever once been a mount that has been added into the game that can be sold on the auction house that doesn't maintain some level of interest basically 12 months a year. Yeah, mounts always sell. Pets pretty historically always sell. In that regard, it's basically as evergreen as it gets. Just look at how many people still to this day go back to like Zereth Mortis and farm up that big transmog sword, for example. The guillotine sword. And that's a piece of transmog, right? Think how many players out there are really that interested in the transmog. Significantly more people are interested in pets and mounts. Three points away from finishing tailoring, 9 points away from completing enchanting. Very close. Oof, nearly there, nearly there. You're much closer than I am with tailoring then. I'm still miles behind on tailoring, like literally miles. My enchanting's done, I think. I think I've finished enchanting. There we go. That's what we were waiting for. Right, we now either need to decide to do the waiting game on old Flyboy, not Flyboy, Junk Wall, or we go do the 2 summon ones. I think we go down south and do the 2 summon ones. Because these also have Vivi and Candy as bonuses. Now we do need to move you fellas ever so slightly to get Dark Fuge. Mount's more of a long-term investment post-expansion, I think. Yeah, I mean, there'll come a point where there'll just be so few of... I mean, there's not huge amounts of them on the market right now.
Overflowing barrels of slime are all over the vat works. Empty them and let the slime run back into the river and complete the slime cycle.
It's only because most of the people who are farming them up now are also very desperate to sell one now. Which is why people are willing to be so competitive on price. I sit in the opposite camp where I'm really not bothered about selling mine anytime soon. It's an asset that I'm happy to sit on. Whether I sell it today or in 6 months' time or in a year's time, it doesn't really make a blind bit of difference to me. I've put the time and the effort in to get the item. There'll come a day where I sell it, and that will be a day where my gold value will increase dramatically. I don't mind. I don't mind waiting. If I need to move them around a few different places to find a realm that's got some population on it, but then also doesn't have one listed, I'm happy to, like, you know, I'm happy to play that game to get a good price for them. I don't need a rush sale. Let's take these guys over to Dark Fuge. Do that one first. Drop you guys there. Go get the other pair. Oh, wait up. What's spawning? Oh, that wasn't the button I was meant to press. Oh, Chief Foreman. We'll do him in a bit. He's still a pain in the ass to solo. One of the rares I usually ignore. Is there inflation in WoW economy? In a sense. The economics of WoW Gold does work slightly differently, so the definition of inflation is slightly different. But yeah, in a sense. Blizzard controls basically only the amount of gold that is brought into the game and then tries to balance the amount of gold that leaves the game. In order to make sure that gold always has, you know, a relatively similar value. And much like real life currencies, it is actually it's healthy to have an ever so slightly increasing level of inflation over time, you know, a couple of percent, so that it may, you know, people maintain that feeling or that desire still to earn more of it and feel like the stuff that they've already earned is not going down in value. In World of Warcraft terms, I think pretty much since the token has been implemented in the game, we've had a similar sort of level of inflation of gold. In terms of what your gold can buy you today is not that different to what your gold could buy you 5 years ago, for example. And because you got to look at things relatively, the individual price of things could have gone up, certainly, but your ability to make gold is also simultaneously adjusted in that time. You know, world quests now are giving you like 800 gold just without even thinking about it, whereas previously you might get like a weekly world quest that might give you like 1200 gold if you're lucky, sort of thing. So, I think generally speaking, it's all about the same. Blizzard has such a hands-off approach with things, with the economy, and it's partly the reason why it survived as long as it has. They control the gold that comes into the game. They make sure things like hyperspawn farms don't print too much gold. They make sure that things like world quests don't create too much new gold. And they also then control roughly how much gold leaves the game. You know, the 5% auction house cut is the number one, I think. Outside of that, they basically don't touch the price of anything else in the game. Pretty much everything is determined by the player. And so it naturally balances. This is why we've never seen, like, minimum sell prices on materials or anything like that, because that's it's not healthy. Right, let's just get this dude nuked. It's rare to summon this dude and not have anybody else turn up. Which isn't a problem. I can solo it. It just takes a bit more time. K-Chackle, make sure to have one listed on every realm. In Team NA, probably, yeah. Luckily, I don't have to worry too much about that. I mean, yes, that may come the point where he might even start buying them over on Team EU to relist and resell them. I wouldn't be too surprised. I imagine he's probably lurking in the background right now anyway. You don't get long to, in fact, I'm not so short a period of time, I'm not going to bother. Right, let's go summon Scrap Chewer. This one's slightly more annoying because I often get my characters killed because I haven't figured out a good spot to plonk them. I actually think dropping them off here is not a terrible idea. Leave them about here. Then they shouldn't, famous last words, shouldn't get aggro.
What? I'm working. You got it.
We're missing a candy kill right now by doing this, but that's not really too much of a concern. My screen's doing this random turn off thing again. And a scrap beaker's up. Right now, the best gold you can make is by selling a 7 out of 8 mythic lockout. It goes for like 100 mil. Those are the you know, I get exactly what you mean, but that's also kind of like saying the best way to make money is to win the lottery. You know, the ability to do that in the first place is your problem. Oh, just pick the winning numbers, right? That's the thing, right? That's the reason why that sort of stuff is so expensive. It's outrageously expensive because there's so few people that can actually offer it. It's like trying to sell the winning lottery numbers. Same with like just high-end mythic boosting in general. The only real reason why those prices can be as high as they are is because they basically are unobtainable. Okay, 60%. Maybe I'll keep an eye on the pets, see if there's any gold to be made there instead. The pets or the mounts. I mean, obviously the mounts take 25 mechanicas to make one mount, so it's the big ticket item. But interestingly, kind of against what a few of us thought, we kind of assumed that the rate in which people can farm these mechanicas is so annoyingly low that there'd be enough people that would look at it as a quick way of making some gold, would then get 5, 6, 7, 10 of these mechanicas, realize it's actually ungodly annoying to get them, and would peace out, but would cash out one of the pets instead. And that we kind of expected there to be more competition on selling the pets. But it seems like right now there are people who are willing to just grind all 25 to get a mount, and then when they go and try and sell the mount, they're vastly undervaluing the mounts. Because, you know, like most currencies, it can only be converted one way. When you turn mechanicas into something, that is a final decision. Why long term, I will probably not turn most of my mechanicas into the pets or the mounts. I'll probably try and keep one of each one up for sale. But then any additional mechanicas, I'll just use them to replace whatever sells, if you know what I mean. Because they're more valuable to me in mechanical form than they are in the final form. It's not like the vendor's going away. Hey, Mechanica, talk of the devil. I mean, it would be very funny if the vendor did go away, but I can't see that happening. Right, Dark Fuge done. Scrap Chewer done. We missed a Candy kill. We missed a Scrap Beak kill. We got Swigs though. Means for all intensive purposes, I think this team is nearly done. Other than, why am I in combat? Hope Blizzard will buff the Mechanica as a guaranteed drop from each rare. So bad to see they try rip off players' time and gold for greedy goblins. Well, you're missing the trick. You've fallen into the default trap, but you're missing the trick that if you spend the time and the effort farming them, you can either use them for yourself or you can sell them and get value for that, right? The reality is people just want them to be easier because they don't want to pay somebody else for the effort it took them to get it, and they want, it's just a greed thing. Like I hate to be quite so blunt about it, but that perspective is just people being greedy. They want something without having to put the effort in for it. Whereas people want somebody else to do the hard work, but then they want them to sell it to them at a lower rate. That's equally not fair. There's I agree that the drop rate is very low, but it's also not unobtainable to any player in the game if they want it. That's the point. Like, this is the emphasis of having something that's considered prestigious. When everything is super quick and super easy to get, it means nothing to anybody. It's just a number on a list, right? But when people have to put time and effort into farming, look at some of the most prestigious mounts in the game. Some of the most prestigious mounts in the game to this date are the ones that are either the lowest drop rate or the hardest to get, or you've got to really work hard to get. Look at things like Ashes of Alar, Invincible, these sorts of mounts where people genuinely kill that boss once a week on as many characters as they can for months at a time to try and increase the chance that they get that mount, right? Then makes them really prestigious when they do get it. No players with one account can compete with players with 5 accounts. But that's individual's choice. This is individual's choice. This is going to fall more into an argument against multi-boxing at this rate, but that's an individual's choice. Somebody that multi-boxes, somebody like myself right now that has 5 accounts up on the screen, is paying 5 times the amount than somebody that is only playing on 1 account. That's an individual's choice. And what you actually find is that the more accounts you add, the less benefit you get from it. Having 5 accounts is not 5 times as efficient as having 1. It's like probably 3 times. one account player can spend 24 hours. Yeah, but yeah, your argument is directly ignoring the fact that that player with 5 accounts has five times the cost of doing it as well, you know. The drop rate is incredibly low, but you can probably get one Mechanica every couple of hours of like direct farming. But the best way to alleviate and soften the blow of that direct farming is to wombo combo other activities in the zone, right? The concept here really, with most things in the zone slowly but surely leading to Mechanicas, is that when you're running around doing your world quests in the zone, you might find dumpsters, you can loot dumpsters. When you're going around doing your weekly quests, you might be doing trash farming, and you might be leveling up your Dark Fuge rep, and all of these things slowly but surely work towards something that might give you more Mechanica. And that's the best way for individuals to go about doing it, is to not stand around and kill rares in a very time-consuming fashion, but just to play the zone to its fullest, and you will get them passively, accidentally over the time, right? And there's nothing in the game that says that you must have all of these things super fast. As I mentioned, some of the most prestigious mounts in the game, you get one chance per week at getting that mount, and it's a 1% drop chance. Yet nobody seems to really complain too much. Nobody's been pushing for Invincible to be buffed. Nobody's been pushing for Ashes of Allah to be buffed. Yet you only get one shot at that one time a week, and it's a 1% drop chance. But very quickly, a huge amount of people want something buffed to the new thing because they want the new thing, but they also don't want to put the effort into getting it. That's the thing that frustrates me with that argument more than anything. And to be honest, most players would be better off farming the gold and then just buying them, because people are already selling them for like disgustingly cheap relative to the time and effort it takes to get them. One shot, one opportunity. Starts to sound a little bit like an Eminem song, yeah. Either way, we missed Junk Wall on this team. For some reason, it's claiming I didn't kill Dark Fuge or Scrap Chewer, but I think this little weak aura doesn't do a great job of tracking those for some reason. I think I'm about ready to say that this team is done. We can park this team now. Oh, hang on. He's still all the way over here. You were meant to fly back. Posted something in Reddit when I got Rust. Feather Mount got flamed a lot after 2k kills. Yes, some of the mounts that you get like literally one opportunity a week to get it. Yeah, I never see anybody screaming and shouting about that those must have increased buff rates. And I usually tend to believe it's because they're not necessarily the most newest and latest things. People always complain and they want the brand new stuff for free instantly. Whereas this is where I think quite often Blizzard just ignores that, as it is clearly just somebody ranting and it's not really constructive. I want this and I don't want to pay for it, and I want this and I want it now and I want it for free. Oh, you're kidding me. Junk Wall spawns literally as I log these dudes off. Alright, well, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. There's a strong chance it'll be killed by the time we get over there, because this reaction time is too slow. But if you don't try, you don't know.
We don't got real plants here in Undermine, but we got the next best thing.
Oh, he's being
Fix 'em up
pawned
so
though.
they shine nice and bright.
We might be in time. There we go. That'll do. Now fly more back. Okay, that was quite successful then. We got all of the weeklies done on this dude as well, which is kind of what I was after. Oh, hang on, I've got logout macros these days. I can just press buttons instead. The majority screaming for increased buff rates on Mechanicas also develop into the ones that then complain there's nothing to do in the game and that we need new content. Yeah, it's difficult to assume that, well, I mean, it's easy to assume, but it's difficult to prove that those actually end up being the same players. But I definitely get what you mean. The interesting thing for me is that it doesn't really make any difference if they do buff the drop rate. And I think Blizzard also seems to understand this. It isn't going to make a blind bit of difference if they buff the drop rate, because most people still won't be willing to do it. Short of them just being given it for free, those players are usually always going to complain, honestly.
Empty 'em and let the slime run back into the river. And complete the slime
Not only that, what they also then do by, like,
Can you believe what this city
if they were going to buff the drop rate on Mechanicas, they probably should have already done it. Because they now run the risk of pissing absolutely everybody off that has put the effort in or has chosen to buy one off the auction house already. They run the risk of pissing those players off, because what they're then going to do is, if they buff the drop rate instantly overnight, by this point they're shooting all of those players in the foot. These are things that either need to get hot fixed quickly or not at all, and I think we're in the category of not at all by this point with Mechanicas. You're trying to tell me Junk Wall's up again, but I know I've just killed him, so I know that's a lie. Are we doing a mailbox opening today? I don't think there's really much in the mailbox, since I actually think I looted a whole bunch of the mailboxes midweek. Yeah. His effort to get more accounts set up in this farm, though, it's about 15 mil just to get the 10 groups of farmers up. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, there's to even be able to do this in any way, shape, or form on a multi-account level, you not only need to have multiple accounts already, you need to then have level 70 characters on all of them. And the more, the merrier in that regards. Meaning if you were savvy back in the day and utilised Mr. Pandaria Remix to make a bunch of level 70s, you're reaping the rewards of that right now. But yeah, the Resonance Crystal Farm is the real gross one. Oh boy. That's a real gross one. Going to be a hectic few months with all the new stuff that's come in. Yeah, the end of this year is going to be pretty wild, to be honest, with player housing, probably an alpha, if not a beta, for the new expansion. Mr. Pandaria Classic, probably Legion Remix, an 11.2 patch, plus whatever they have up their sleeves that we don't know about yet. There's going to be a lot going on in the next little while. I bet 95% of the peeps that did the mop alts did them all on the same realm, though. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm an exact candidate for that. That is exactly what I did. They're all on the same realm, which is not as useful as it would be having them all split up right now, but it's still manageable. Welcome in there, Woo. Welcome. I can live with them being all on the same realm. It's still more efficient for me than doing it on just a single account, doing it this way. I would probably, with them all being on the same account, I would probably be slightly more optimal if I actually dropped down to 3 accounts and just put 2 others in the car and drive around and kill all the rares that way. I think. But yeah, not by much. I did all of mine on the opposite faction, went from 0 Horde tunes to a full set of Horde class alts. Oh, well, there we go. That's one way to do it. I mean, the reality is you often don't know what's, coming. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. Back in Mr. Pandaria Remix, it would have been, there could have been some constructive thought behind, do I make them all on the same realm or do I make them all on separate realms? And there is pros and cons to both of those situations. If every single one of your alts ends up being on a different realm, it can then be more frustrating to transfer characters between them and level them up and gear them up and deal with them and do stuff with them, for example. Now, I know Warband fixes a lot of that problem, but we didn't fully have Warbands at that point. Secondly, putting them all on one realm has its advantages, that they're all in the same place. Work orders, crafting gear for them, all of this sort of stuff, it's naturally more straightforward. It's only in this one scenario where if I'd had them all spread out, it would be actually a big advantage. Right, you get in a car. Let's put you in the car as well, see if we can go get Sal before he gets nuked. Sal's valuable enough to do some bonus work for. Cricks with the 9 months, thank you, my man. Appreciate that. Good morning. Good mornings. Oh, I've managed to pull Sal. That wasn't what I intended to do. Whoops. Oh well. We're killing him on 2 accounts. Does your week aura tracker update the weekly spawn rares on the airfield? No, not very well, no. Certainly not reliably. Right, where's the 4 that we actually need? Where's the fellas we actually need? As a collector, it's getting harder and harder just to find the time to do the older stuff. Yeah, collectors will always, well, have always and will always have this problem. That, you know, people get hooked on collecting stuff because they play an expansion an awful lot. And they try and do everything in that expansion. But as soon as they start looking at the 10 expansions that we have in the past, most people come to the conclusion very quickly that they should focus on collecting maybe one category of things, maybe possibly. To be an ATT 100%er is basically impossible.
Whoa, that is a big
It's one of those where if you have actually been doing it for 10 years already, maybe you stand a chance of being in 90 percentile, but otherwise it's practically impossible. You do it for your own amusement, but I've also spotted over the years as well that the collecting is a bit of a drug, and people get hooked on the collecting, and then they
time to head out. Get a move on.
are also not willing to accept the fact that it's a game that can never be completed. I've seen a fair few people, even content creators, that get heavy into all the things, and then just become hyper negative anytime something new is added to the game, because they just see it. They don't see the new thing for the fun in doing the new thing. All they look at is the list of stuff that is being added to their own self-made list of things that they must do in the game, and it becomes a problem. That's why I still, to this day, try very, very hard to live by the rule of that if I don't find something fun, I just don't do it. And I love collecting. I like collecting stuff. Like, I like collecting all of the recipes for all of the professions. I like leveling all of the professions. I like collecting pets and mounts and stuff like that. But I still strictly live by, as soon as it stops being fun, I stop doing it. Junk wall is up again if I want to try and cart people down there. Although it does feel like more people are waking up, and rares might not be lasting as long.
Dim lightin' and absolutely no airflow. Perfect day for a race.
No, he's still up.
We don't got real plants here in Undermine, but we got the next best thing. Fix them up so they shine nice and bright.
This is one thing I hadn't considered. Can I actually solo this dude? It's not looking great, is it? Maybe if we take it slow and steady. And use lots of Word of Glories. And don't get hit by stuff. I need a shield. That's what I really need. I think we got this. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh no, don't kill me now. Don't kill me now. Don't kill me now. Die. Oh, I was wanting that to crit. Woo! Okay, we did kill it, just. That was closer than it needed to be. Oh, world boss. World boss is up. You can always tell the second the world boss loads. The rest of the server goes to shit.
Bamsi's engineers are itching for some sabotage. Lend him a hand in Castaway Cove, why don't ya?
Right, let's get this dude dead. We can fly these fellas back to the hotel after he dies. Nice. Right, you guys go back to safety. Even the rare icon on the minimap seems not to update. My alts still see Magno or Dark Fuse, even though I'm 100% sure they've looted it, because I did it with each alt from the kill. The yeah, the internal game tracking is a bit weird with it. It feels. I've not quite been able to put my finger on why sometimes it seems to work and sometimes it doesn't, but it usually means when I take a team of characters round the map to do the weeklies, I just try and do all of the weeklies so that then I know that that team is just done, regardless to what a little weak aura says. But I'm not, with being away for the weekend and us playing some other games recently as well, I'm not doing a great job, to be totally honest, keeping up with all the weeklies. The weeklies are even more difficult to do if you've got all the characters on the same realm. Because you do genuinely just need to sort of like AFK wait for them to spawn. Like Flyboy, for example, I should probably fly everybody down there and kill him, but unless there's a 2x4 farm down there that spawns him quickly, it's often a long wait. This team still needs tally by the looks of things. Yeah. Oh, speak of the devil. How about that for timing? Down they go. Nice. Do I go do the whole scrap to a Darkfuge thing on this team as I'm kind of here and it's already Monday, and if I don't, I might not get around to doing it full stop. Do I have a canister on this dude? No. Let's go grab one of these. And if we're going to do this, we can fly these dudes down south. Get you guys down there already.
Keep it down. Stick to the shadows.
We get a VV or a candy kill. It's a nice little bonus, but I'm not expecting anything.
Can you believe what this city is coming to? We got a rat problem.
Yeah,
Deal with it,
VV's
will ya?
literally up. Nice.
Overflowing barrels of...
Double bubble. What's new in Noble Garden? I've not checked out Noble Garden today. It might be something I have a little bit of a look at later. I would imagine probably not much. They tend not to change much. I don't remember seeing any new info about new Noble Garden stuff, but... It's weird how Noble Garden only starts like after Easter has already happened. We're going to have Noble Garden for 2 weeks and it's just going to feel odd. Is it 2 weeks? I think Noble Garden's up for 2 weeks. What? Yeah. What? Didn't I just buy one of those canisters? I literally went there to buy one. Did I not actually buy it? How did I manage to do that? How did I manage to go to the vendor and not buy the thing I wanted to buy? Did I get stuck with flipping server lag and it didn't actually buy the thing I was looking to buy? What in the world?
What you need?
Okay, well, I've definitely got one now. How strange. My ATT also seems to state that I don't have the mount from this, and I'm pretty sure I do. Must be some weird account bugs going on at the moment. At least this one's pretty quick to spawn as well. It's the reason I'm sticking as Venture Co. As it's much easier to spawn Scrap Chewer. Of all of the 4 summonable ones, Scrap Chewer is the least grossed one to deal with. The flipping fish dude takes forever. Magno is a bit of a pain in the ass, especially if you have to solo it. Even though killing the rare is dead easy. I tested to be sure, killed again with the group. The icons can't be trusted, even though I had the feeling that it was tracking better than the weak aura. Yeah, I mean, the weak aura is only going to go based off what the base game says. So if your icons in the game are not working properly, then weak auras don't have any chance. But it's good to know that it's definitely just bugged. Oh, so Noble Guns for week and then Children's Week starts at the end of it. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not too bad then. Right, now over to Scrap Chewer. Ferry these guys over. Wasn't about to start risking taking all 4 of the dudes over there for that one. Oh, wait, I left one there. Oh, flipping Lord. This ferrying them about business is clearly not an exact science. Right, where's the last dude? Probably still down here. Here we go.
What you got? Back to it.
Oh, what? Why can't I put... Why is it not letting me put anything in the... Any batteries in? Oh no, now it works. Noble Garden 2025 rewards. Thank you, Mr. Wu. I'll have a little look at that in a second. Checking none of my dudes are actually getting aggroed by anything. They seem to be relatively safe on top of this container. $96, $97, $100. Scrap Chew's deposit never works for me. If any time the turn-in doesn't work, get in your car, accept a mission in your car, and then cancel the mission, and then get out the car, and it'll work. Don't ask me why, but it just works. As odd as that sounds, it just works. No! Whoa, 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 whoa. Get in the car. Well, let's go get the other two. Now, this ferrying them around business is not necessarily a great use of time, particularly. But for me, because half my tunes are on... Well, nearly all of my tunes are on the same shard, I have quite a lot of downtime between killing of the res anyway. No. Oh, flipping hell. Yeah, I've also started to realise that parking them on top of this container makes picking them up and dropping them off a bit more annoying. But okay, if it works, it's not stupid. I'll just drive these ones back. They don't need to take a flight path.
Overflowing barrels of slime are all over the vat works.
By the looks of things, that's not necessarily everybody I'd want killed on these dudes, but close enough. I think we have Flyboy that could have been killed. Other than that, I think this team has done their job. Maybe let's put this team to bed. They've done alright out of today. Okay. From this point, I might just fly through just the basic 4. Probably won't go do any of the weeklies on any of these dudes just yet. I'll do that probably later today or tomorrow. I want to get through a couple more of these teams a bit faster. There are some new things for Noble Garden by the looks of things. Oh, hello, game. Please don't crash, please don't lag. Both Swigs and Nitro, I think, are dead. Junk wall is up. Let's do a quick lap and check to make sure. Thwack is also dead.
Next best thing. Fix them up so they shine nice and bright.
Thwack is dead. Nitro's dead. Swigs isn't there. Tally is dead. Okay, the complete set is dead. Right, I guess we got a couple of minutes then to have a little bit of a look at... Oh wait, is that Wait, hang on. Hang on, did she just instantly respawn? She did. That's weird. Messy, but it works. Okay, we're fine. Imagine doing check cards on these guys. Well, yeah, it's also something I need to do. I've kind of dropped the ball on check cards. I should have had Venture Code pretty much capped this week. I got proper lazy on the rep farm, annoyingly. Let's have a little look what's going on in Noble Garden. 5 new transmogs available in 2025. 100 chocolates apiece. So 500 chocolates. Faded Floral Staff, Orchid, Bouquet, Paradise Violet Axe, Pristine Floral Stalk, Violet Floral Edge, by the looks of things, would be my guess of the 5. Some slightly newer, higher resolution transmog options here. Staff, a bow, one-handed axe, a pokey stick, and a void-looking dagger. Okay, nothing that I'm too bothered about because it's just mogs, but I can definitely see why those appearances would appeal. 500 chocolates, those shouldn't take too long. 500 chocolates is about the same amount of time as it takes to get one of the mounts, right? If I remember correctly. So maybe not too difficult. Run around picking up chocolate eggs outside Gold Shit Inn or something. It'd be easy business. Might bang that out later. I'm at 55 chats, I need 45 to go for the achievement. Oh, you're handing them all in to chat as well? Yeah, that's an achievement I'm probably never gonna get. I can't like once I've done enough checklists to turn in and max out the rep, I can't see me pushing for any more, to be honest. Certainly not 100 more of them. Boys and girls, whilst we're waiting for some rares, the 3 other rares I need to kill are all dead. I'm going to take a quick ad break for 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2. I've just realised my AFK screen looks all weird. I should fix that for next time. Did any of the rares even spawn? I don't think any of the rares did spawn, did they? We still need Swigs, we still need Nitro, we still need Thwack. Let's do a quick sanity check on them. Nope. Thwack is still dead. What about Nitro? Nitro is not up. And then we will wait. And we will wait. So there's some Twitch drops that kick in. I think they kick in tomorrow. If memory serves me right. For the new patch. Recent guilds defeating Galliwix are not being added to the Hall of Fame. Something strange appears to have happened over the weekend. It's recent. It's recent. Okay. Not being awarded the Hall of Fame. Odd. Oh, here we go. The new Twitch drop. That's a weird looking bug. Yellow maiden bugs, often mistaken for other yellow insects. This happens even more too often. Claim your bold little bug by watching World of Warcraft streams over on twitch.tv. Kicks in tomorrow. Lasts for the entire month. Okay, that'll be easy enough for people to get then. That'll be easy enough for people to get. Hang on, who's that on my mini-map? I've just seen something on the mini-map. Thwack, and I think Thwack's dead. Have I just missed a Thwack kill?
We don't got real plants here in Undermine.
I think I have, yes. Damn.
Them up so they shine nice and bright.
Damn strawberry jam.
And absolutely no airflow. Perfect day.
Oh, I think I just missed a nitro kill as well. Oh, God, Lord have mercy. I've done goofed there. This is the only problem. That so often these rares get absolutely blasted within seconds of them spawning. And if you're not there or not paying 100% attention when they do, you just get screwed. Oh well, next time. It's nice being able to be the guild's crafter, more gold for me, and the guildies don't have to go into trade chat. Yeah, if you can find yourself in a bunch of people that are happy to pay you for your services, you can't go wrong with that, really. Kazolgar welcomes the Feast of Noble Garden with some new festive decorations as well as the new egg hunt for hidden brightly coloured eggs. The stat count for brightly coloured eggs has been increased to 18. I don't know what that means. And there's some festive new weapon transmogs to help you spring into action. But that's all that's new for 2025 in Noble Garden. I don't know why my rare scanner didn't pop up for those rares, to be honest. Winds of Mysterious Fortune kicks in this week. 200% rep bonus for Dragonflight, 100% rep bonus for the War Within. Undermined factions are excluded from benefiting from this buff. Now that's just not true. Haven't we proven that this is not true? Blizzard also clarified which reps would benefit. Undermined factions are excluded from benefiting from this buff. I swear they've changed this. Didn't I prove that they changed this the other day? The undermined reps are just getting a regular buff that has nothing to do with this event. Oh, is that literally what it is? They're just getting a flat 100% buff anyway. Well, that's confusing. Is that just part of the patch then? Shadowlands has been converted to Warband Wide now. Ascended, Wild Hunt, Court of Night, Court of Harvesters, so on and so on. The new scenario. Where do we see that we get... Increase the reputation gains for Bilgewater, Blackwater, Steamweedle, and the Venture Company from rares, side gigs, weekly quests, and world quests by 100%. Okay, so yeah, it's it's weird. It's not part of the It's not a bonus in the leveling event, but these are still going to be gaining a buff. Okay. Really weird how they've structured that. I mean, I guess this is the right way to structure it, but it's kind of confusing that they're buffing this and then very specifically saying up here that like undermined factions are excluded from benefiting from this buff, but they are still getting a buff. You know, they're still doubling, much like all of these are doubling, but this is not doubling the doubling. Okay, sure. Now I see why I was getting multiple pop-ups of you logging in. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I hadn't even considered that. Yeah, there'll be 5 copies of me logging in, logging out if you got me on Battle.net, yeah. Welcome in, Stro, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Day off today? Maybe day off today? Double Paragon boxes now. Yeah, probably. This could also potentially lead to why people are getting more interested in selling their Mechanica mounts and why the price might have gone down in the last few days, because people have quite rightly come to the conclusion that if rep is doubled, then Paragon boxes are doubled. And if you're at the point where you can get Paragon boxes, your opportunity to get Mechanicas out of them is then also, in theory, doubled. You know, it's a kind of a passive nerf to Mechanica. All the same. I still don't think it's going to make that much difference though, because even getting the reps to Exalted's a pain in the ass right now, never mind getting Paragon boxes with them. Certainly not going to be doing that all too repeatably.
Pack it up. We're done scrapping this one.
Tally's dead. Let's go check the others. Swigs is not here. Seems my realm is getting a little bit busier now, so much so that you practically have to camp these rares, which is also kind of leading me to think that this might be the last team I bother doing the rares on, at least on stream. Swigs. Two out of the 4. Ooh, Sal. Should we go try and get a couple of dudes a Sal kill? Right, you can come and have a go. You can come and have a go. Might not get all 4 up to sell fast enough.
Back, harassing and oppressing people. Put a stop to it.
Okay, nobody's here yet. We risk it. We go greed. We go greed.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Let's get you in. I'll check that sub in a minute. Thank you in advance, whoever it was. I got to quickly get this Sal kill. Oh, gold's in my man for 9 months now. Appreciate that, my fella. Thank you, thank you. Have you seen OLED monitors? I have one. They are beautiful. Oh, that nearly killed half of my ults. That's not fun. Whoops. Yeah, the OLED screens are... They're not cheap, but they're beautiful. There's one significant problem with OLED screens though, is that once you have one, it makes it very difficult to look at any other screen that's not OLED. It's one of those blessing and a curse situations. They're almost too good. Right, let's go get the other 2. I mean, way back in the day, I remember I was working for Sony when they released, like, I'm gonna say the world's first OLED. I don't know if it exactly was the world's first OLED, but it were like some tiny little 11-inch concept, like iPad-sized screen. Sony ZX1 or something, I can't quite remember. But that was like 15 years or something ago now. It's like the world's first OLED, commercially available OLED TV or something. And even then, that thing was wild.
Plants here in Undermine, but we got the next best thing. Fix them up so they shine nice and bright.
My brother-in-law works for a company that pioneers OLED technology. Of course, the main TV in the house is OLED. They're just too good. They're just too good, OLEDs. You like the... Like I said, once you get one, you can't go back. Especially these days that they've pretty much got the screen burn-in issues under control with them. I mean, I remember selling plasma screen TVs, and the problems you had with plasma TVs, that they'd get so hot that you get burn-in on them. I mean, OLEDs haven't even been as bad as plasma screens were for burn-in, like full stop. But obviously it's still a concern for people when you're spending that kind of money on a screen, that you don't want it to, like, you know, don't want it to cook the image into the screen. But I think thwack is the last one I need. Now, I've either got the option of camping thwack now, or just calling it a day with the rares. Let's give it a few minutes. Rares seem to be spawning kind of quick. your new 4K's OLED? Yes, yes. 32-inch 4K OLED. It's beautiful. They've just started releasing 27-inch 4K OLEDs. I'm not I mean, 27 inches in 4K is like wildly high resolution. I mean, I even think 32-inch and 4K is pushing it, but... And the 27-inch ones, they don't even seem to be any cheaper, which is weird. But one thing I would say is the fact that I'm, I don't know, 12 inches away from a 32-inch screen. It's you still can't see any pixels. So as long as you can't make out the individual pixels, I think you're fine. This was the monitor I got. Which was very nice. Been very, very pleased with it so far. I don't want to have to get a 5090 in the power bill that comes with it to go 4K yet. Yeah, I get that. I get that. $2,500 on a graphics card is pretty wild, and that's if you can get one. My theory, more than anything else, is that this is a monitor now that I've got basically no reason to ever replace, unless something super new or super fancy happens in the next few years. But I can't imagine why I'd ever need to replace this screen now, to be honest. Well, Thwack spawned pretty quickly, so that was not too slow of a round. We can live with that. That's not all of my teams done for today, but I don't want to spend all day killing rares. It gets a bit repetitive, and like I said, there's a lot of downtime while we wait for things to pop up. So. Let's call it a day on those guys. What I do now need to do is, before I log off this dude, I need to go do tailoring, and I need to go do inscription. And then I might, yeah, we might focus on just the one account for a little while now. Go check out Noble Garden, maybe. See what the crack is with the new mogs. See if we've done most in Noble Garden. Need some eye tracking and a touch screen. Yeah, I mean, they're, I think for computer monitors, quite gimmicky, but I see your point, yeah. Could be something that's useful, maybe, to some people. How much a 5090? Well, the reality with the 5090 is it doesn't really matter how much they are. You basically can't buy them. In Finland, you cannot get one for less than 3,000 euros, pretty much, at the moment. They sit on the shelves at about 3,300 euros. But, of course, most people are not willing to pay that, especially since MSRP is 2,450. So, for most people, 5090s don't exist. I was super lucky to get my 5080. And it took weeks of carefully trying to scout one down to even get that. Do you think they're artificially limiting the supply of the top-end graphics cards? I I did wonder that for a while. I don't think they are, because it's not in Nvidia's interest to do it particularly, other than to smooth out their revenue. You could quite easily state that when Nvidia launches a graphics card, they probably see a huge, great big spike in revenue generated by everybody going out and buying that new graphics card. But then, for the other 11 months of the year, they sit on shelves and retailers compete on price with them and margins get squeezed on them. There's the argument that if you artificially limit the supply of them into the market, you always create, you can basically simulate a seller's market for 12 months of the year, whilst over a period of a year, probably still selling the same quantity, but instead of selling them all in 1 month, and then, you know, all in 1 month at MSRP, and then for the 11 months of the year, selling them all at 1% margin because they sit on shelves and people compete with them. If you can artificially drip feed them and make sure that you're making, you know, big margin on them. If you could sell for 12 months of the year at MSRP without having to do, you know, deep discounts, surely that works out better for them. It's completely scumbaggy, but when you have a monopoly, that's the kind of shit you can do. Because top-end graphics cards, Nvidia don't have competition from AMD. So, yeah. There's probably some shenanigans going on. Probably some. Noble Garden killed WoW for casuals right before Old War 2010, I checked. What are you going on about? Some scalper bought up the region supply and just sets the price with all the vendors super high. Sounds like somebody else I know. Shots fired. Basically willing to do most of those if I can get some mats. Why am I missing so many materials? Oh, it's all bound ciphers. They're only artisan security. I'm not bothered about those. Right, let's go clean our bags out a little bit. Jump on the paladin real quick, get blacksmithing done.
My directive is to serve you.
Wait, hang on. Why have I got an overflowing undermine trove in my warbank? That doesn't need to be in there, does it? Sure. Why are those even warbound? Why are these warbound? What is the possible reason? Oh, maybe to shift radiant echoes around. How very weird. Of all the things to be warbound.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummels, like you.
Oh, hold on, what's going on here? Being blasted with Discord messages. What's going on? Right, let's get some professional stuff done on this dude. We should have oh, hello, what have you finished?
Something for you.
Oh, weekly
Won't
quest.
find better.
If I have any chances of getting blacksmithing capped at any point ever, I have to remember to log on and do patron orders every day. Otherwise, we're just never going to get there. I mean, 261 points behind with blacksmithing still. If we don't keep up with patron orders, it's never going to happen. Oh, and if they're still going to insist on being stinky. So bad. Okay, well, we can get 5 done. 2, 4, 5 knowledge points. An average of 1 knowledge point per order. Without it really costing us anything. I like that patron orders exist, but I'm not sure I quite like the high reliance on them. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I actually think I prefer having a bunch of weekly quests to do. Like go out, kill a couple of rares, that sort of stuff. Now I know we have treasures, 2 treasures to farm up now, but back in Dragonflight I think I preferred the fact that there was a little bit more of a stricter amount of stuff you can just do to get some basic knowledge points. It all feels as if it's very weighted on patron orders and very random. I would rather it, or should I say I hope for maybe a middle ground. But at the end of the day, patron orders for catch-up is better than not having any catch-up whatsoever. So it's not a complaint, it's just a kind of like, I still wish it was a bit better.
Do you have a query?
What, 10 gleaming shards? Yeah, absolutely not.
Your path.
Oh, we'll do all of those though. Yes, please. If the daily catch-up's scaled, so if you're 50 plus behind, you get maybe a 10 a day, I think it'd be less annoying. Yeah, it'd at least give people more options, right? Because the problem is now there's a maximum of 21 knowledge points you can catch up a week. Maximum. But that is assuming that you fill every single one of those 3 orders you get every single day, 7 days in a row. When we all know that with patron orders, there are going to be some that are going to cost you a few thousand gold to do, and people are just going to be like, absolutely not. So the upper cap of being 21 catch-up a week still seems really low when you've got professions like blacksmithing that have up to 800 knowledge points to complete them. it's kind of, you know, it's a system that is there. It's a system that exists. We can't complain too much because in Dragonflight we had nothing. But I still feel that you're not wrong. I think capping it at 3 per day is just too small of a number. Now that we've gone into Season 2, they should have upped that to 6. And then in Season 3, they should up it to 9. You know, just so that, you know, as we technically, as we get closer towards the end of the expansion now, we're still going to have this weird scenario where people that start with their professions in Season 3 have physically no chance of ever being able to catch up, compete, or contemplate finishing them before the expansion's over. Because with blacksmithing, like 20 catch-up a week, that's 80 catch-up a month. You know, that's 10 months. Even with, it takes you 10 months to go from 0 to hero with blacksmithing. With full catch-up. Minus first-time crafts and minus, you know, your usual, let's say, 10 knowledge points a week. It could still easily take you 6 months, even with full catch-up enabled, to go from 0 to 100 with blacksmithing, which is just wild. It's too slow. It's genuinely too slow. Now, obviously, you don't strictly need every single point, but you need at least this tree. There's not any time you do anything with blacksmithing where this tree isn't useful. So you've got 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 points there that are basically mandatory whatever you do with blacksmithing. So that's 100 points without question. It makes quite some sense for players to have this tree done because this is all of the consumables. This is all of the stuff that actually sets you some chances of actually making some profit with the profession generally. And then you have to pick either weaponsmithing or armor smithing. You could entirely just go into one tree, but not having the 100 points here is going to mean that you are basically only doing this with other people's materials and only filling orders, super pigeonholing yourself in. You're looking at probably 300 to 400 knowledge points to get blacksmithing to a point where you actually have a few choices. Because 100 points is basically mandatory before you even begin. Is there the possibility to craft rank 3 alloys with rank 2 mats without concentration? No. No, the entire premise of the system is that if you want to make rank 3, you use rank 3 mats. If you want to make rank 3 with rank 2 mats, you have to also use concentration. That's pretty standard across the entire professions. Everburning Forge is the last one that I'll fill. Finishing off armor smithing now. Then Everburning Forge is the last tree. It's weird for me. Everburning Forge was like, it wasn't the first tree that I would want to pay attention to, but it was guaranteed second. And to be honest, at the very, very, very beginning of the expansion, this was still probably the first tree you should pay attention to if you were crafting like alloys or frameworks or any of the intermediate stuff. Oh, it's only questionable how much it's necessary if you solely go work orders. So either armor smithing or weaponsmithing is your one and main path. Then it's kind of like, it's a nice to have, but not essential. But even if you are going like fully into weaponsmithing or armor smithing, I would still be taking Everburning Forge like as your second tree. Yeah, I mean, having multiple characters means you can go in different directions, yeah. I mean, right now, having 3 blacksmiths would technically mean you could have easily got this tree, and then that character's done. You have Ever Burning Forge and this tree on another one, and you have armor smithing on a third character. And you could then, in essence, have access to everything. But it's still, in that regards, it's 3 times the cost, it's 3 times the effort for 3 times the reward. It's basically equal. Or eventually it will be anyway. Everburning Forge isn't really a big deal if you want to craft weapons or armor. It's not huge, other than it is pretty much what makes you your profit. That's the thing, right? So it's not mandatory, but it's where your profit is. Your profit is still in this tree, because your profit is basically stacking. Where is it? I mean, the resourcefulness is the big one, really. At the beginning of the expansion, you know, if you're crafting weapons for people or you're crafting armor for people, the tips are not going to be great, but a resourcefulness proc, excuse me, more resourcefulness procs on more Q3 materials is then where your profit comes from, really. Make sure that you rank engineering at the bottom. It's been a hidden gem for me, and after enchanting, it's the profession I've made the most profit with. So be Chad and keep it on the down low. Engineering was really good in Dragonflight, and it was a sleeper profession in Dragonflight. It's really difficult for people to get away from the fact that engineering, for the most part, has been utility for so long that it sort of accidentally gets ignored by most people. That said, there's still some good stuff with engineering. The multi-level process of making like parts and stuff is probably quite profitable most of the time. I have the feeling professions are done this expansion and all the effort is going into Midnight right now. I can't imagine Blizzard are going to add much to them at all. Let's be real, they didn't particularly add much to the professions during Dragonflight, and that was the expansion where it was all new and all shiny. This time round, they've kind of shown very clearly with 11.1 that they don't really have any plans to do anything other than the absolute bare minimum within this expansion now. And so, yeah, I kind of partly agree with you on that one. I think for the most, I mean, we might see, you know, we'll see another contract and we'll see another Vantus rune probably, but I don't expect anything, unfortunately. I still think that they're missing a trick with not releasing another tier of tools. But I do also kind of wonder that if releasing another tier of tools, if they gave everybody, I mean, I know blacksmithing has, it's not even blacksmithing this time, is it? It was blacksmithing last expansion. But I know enchanting has the epic tool, but it seems like such an obvious thing to make a new set of epic gear later in the expansion. But then I also wonder what's the actual value in that, because everything is balanced around you having these rare profession tools with the perfect quantities of skill on them so that you can just about hit thresholds like this. That they don't need to add epic ones in, and actually adding epic ones in doesn't really add any value to crafters, because most crafters who care can already make things at top quality now anyway. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I think this is probably why they're not going to really do much. They'll just refresh it every expansion and call it a day. Maybe epics would have greater secondary stats. Well, that's a route that they could go. They could go, you know, they could bump the ingenuity and multicraft by 20% on epic ones, but keep the skill the same, maybe. that would really screw with everybody in their spreadsheets. And K-Chak could be pulling his hair out if they did that, I reckon. But it's possible all the same. Right, should we have a little look at Noble Garden? Let's jump onto the main, have a little look at Noble Garden for the last half hour or so. I don't need to craft anymore, I can do it all with maths now. I would, I'll have a chat with you about this at some point, but I figured out all the maths quite a while ago. The one thing that I was still uncertain on was the multi-craft proc rates on a fair few crafts, because they're not universal. But resourcefulness and stuff is pretty easy to math out. You still have to hard code multi-craft proc rates in, and it's knowing what those multi-craft proc rates are for each item that isn't straightforward or obvious. Multi-craft just scales on the base amount of crafted items, but it's a bit weird. Yeah, this is my point. There's a few different variants to it. It's not just one. You can't just multiply everything by 2.2. I never found what the exact formula was that they used when I was looking, but it was ages ago I did it. Noble Garden. I guess we start with whatever's in Orgrimmar, I guess. Let's go have a look. I can't remember what we do for Noble Garden. We have to hunt chocolate eggs, don't we? Hunting chocolate eggs is the main thing. Is there not some blindingly obvious quest to pick up here? There usually is. Noble Garden. Grab your baskets, time for Noble Garden. Head to your capital city. I'll tell you what I do need to do. Let's close some of these for now. Noble Garden. Oh, this is still taking me to Valdrakken. I don't think that's going to be up to date, is it? Is Valdrakken upstairs? It would seem very weird if you had to go to Valdrakken. I think this Zygor guide's out of date. I don't think it's been updated. Oh, it's just the Holiday Enthusiast quest, I see. A Spring Awakens. Never miss a chance to type knob. It's true. Touch the Spring Gatherer in Razor Hill, Brill, Bloodhoof Village, or Falcon Wing Square. For us, it's easiest to do it from out here. Oh yeah, we have to kill the big duck, don't we? Now it's starting to come back to me. Now I'm starting to remember. Noble Garden, celebration of life in spring. Hope you enjoy the egg hunt because could use the service of a capable individual like you. Not certain what form of magic was used in the creation of the eggs, and the druids aren't keen on explaining it to me. Perhaps you could collect some shell fragments for me during your egg collection. Dilla dilla da, Blossom Branch. Where's the Noble Garden Merchant? Here we go. So here's some of the new stuff, look. Here's some of the new stuff this year. You can finally get the second part of a 4-year achievement. I remember something along those lines. I can't remember what it is though. The lovely duckling is back. 250 Noble Garden chocolates. Estimated amount needed to obtain the remaining things. Noble Garden chocolate. My ATT says 100. That's not true though, is it? Because I need 500 for all of these. Swift Spring Strider. What are these on the auction house right now? 30k average regional sale price on these Swift Spring Striders. 500 eggs to buy one. Tend to go burr on the auction house this time of year. Some new ATTs just come out, has it? An update for it. Oh yeah, you can place the eggs around and people can pick them up. I remember those. New, not new, but the Hearthstone basket. World Events Noble Garden. Looks like we've got everything from Noble Garden. It's only Pilgrim's Bounty that I'm missing something from. If ATT's been updated, let's make sure we get that updated as well. Sale rate is poop. I've still got some from last year. Yeah, I suspect that's the case. It's just been in the game too long now at this point. The fact it comes around once a year and it doesn't take that long to run around and pick up some eggs whenever you need to. Right, that lot's up to date. Do a quick reload. Might just need to zip round, pick up 500 chocolate eggs. Not too much to do this year by the looks of things. Unless we want to farm up a bunch of mounts. But like Wu said, I don't strictly know how much gold making is involved in those anymore, really. couple of days ago, I put some fried eggs on top of baked beans for breakfast. It was spectacular. My buddy told me that it was a British thing. Is it true? I mean, baked beans on toast is about as British as it gets, yeah. Obviously, slapping some fried eggs on there is just an extra bonus, really. Oh, look, they've got class icons now in ATT. Oh, that's funky. Okay. Scare off some ducks. How do we scare them? With a horn. Yoink. Brightly coloured egg. Are we already at the point where people are just like hard camping the spawn locations on these again? That always happens. They also seem to be near enough instant respawn by the looks of things. This is probably why the mounts and stuff don't really have too much value to them now. Because I reckon it wouldn't take me very long to pick up 500 of these if I just wanted the mount myself. Save myself 30k, 40k buying the mount. Which if I can easily come to that idea, I'm quite sure others do too. Does baked beans on toast have a name? Beans on toast. Beans on toast. Simple as. Simple as. We're pretty simple at heart. You going for the big delve achievement, completing 1k delves? Absolutely not. No. No. No chance. I think I've probably done... I'd be surprised if I've done 100 delves, if I'm honest. I would be quite surprised if I've done 100 delves. 719 and count, flipping hell. Yeah, the only way to do that is to just absolutely Giga Blast tier 1s and put it on repeat. But I would kind of question your sanity. That's one of those achievements for me that is like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Is it just baked beans out of a can? Yeah, Heinz baked beans pretty much is the default go-to. Those with a slightly different palate may like the odd little cocktail sausage thrown in, or some people have chili beans. There's a few variations these days. Fun fact: I don't really like baked beans. Right, in a few minutes of farming these, we're already up to 43. So, you know, it's one of those that if you just need the new, 500 of these isn't going to take very long. If you need the mount, 250 for the pet, 500 for all of this year's new transmogs. It's questionable whether I'm going to bother. But the fact I'm like 10% of the way there already. At that point, are you really British if you don't like baked beans? I mean, I've lived in Finland for like a decade now. Am I really that British anymore? At the end of the day, That said, I do still regularly attempt to import Marmite, so maybe I am. Because there ain't nowhere in this country that sells Marmite. There's part of me that wants to set up a PO box just so I can get you guys to send me Marmite and other British delicacies that are difficult to come by. $60. Right, I think my patience will last up to 100. I will do the first 100 because there is a bow that, considering I do play hunter, makes sense to pick up. But the other 400, maybe I'll do that whilst I watch Netflix or something. Decade in Finland and you don't speak fluent Finlandic? No. I annoyingly understand a reasonable amount of Finnish, but speaking it is a completely different game. My mouth and tongue just doesn't move in the right direction. British cuisine is the worst out there. British cuisine is just stolen from everywhere else. Other than, like, you know, a good shepherd's pie or something, there's not really much that's particularly British cuisine. Like, the best quote-unquote British food is just hardcore stolen from somewhere else. Bit of Yorkshire puddings. Yorkshire pudding's just a pancake that went wrong. That's the thing, though. It's another scenario of the fact that it's it's British, but it's not really. Somebody fucked up making pancakes one day, and they were like, actually, this works. It's more of a happy accident, I think. I don't miss much from the UK anymore. After a while, you just switch your local produce by default. Been in Australia for 20 years now, and honestly, the only thing I miss is Greg's. Good old Greg's sausage roll. Yeah. But Greg's sausage rolls, they used to be so greasy that they make the bag they come in completely see-through. I bet they don't even do that anymore. I bet Greg's sausage rolls are like almost healthy these days. Ugh. You say good shepherd's pie after 2.5 years. I'm yet to find one that's better than the ones I had in Belgium. I know where you started off your journey in the UK. I know you've also moved, I think, but like your best ones are up north. Anything that's anything pie related, you got to get up north. And then it's questionable whether it's actually English again, because is it not just Scottish that just fell out? But yeah, I mean, anybody from Yorkshire will probably kill me for saying that, but Northern England does the best pies. The further south you go, the more international the food gets. Need to get yourself some spam sandwiches or something. That's really British. Mmm. Dripping butter. Most people won't even know what I'm talking about now. Right, have we hit 100 yet? I'm already bored running around as a rabbit. 103. Right, we got enough to get our bow. The further north you go, the more deep fried it becomes. True, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, wait, hang on. What's going on here? You got to click them first. Why do they only stack to 18? I'm confused. Increases your speed by 60% for 10 seconds. Oh, it's the chocolates I need, not the flipping eggs. Okay. Made more annoying then by the fact that you have to click each one once you pick it up as well. Oh, yeah, because it's in these, you can pop out the other cosmetics and stuff, don't you? I remember now. Beef Wellington isn't British. It certainly should be, considering Gordon Ramsay made it famous in my mind. I don't know. Is Wellington like more traditionally French? Maybe. I'm not sure. Even chip butties are getting fried now? Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Oh, flipping hell, I'm out. I've only got 90. 10 more. I'm going to be honest, my little my hideaway cove over here worked quite well in between the rocks for just basically insta-spawning them. Oh, Tome of Polymorph Rabbit I still need to pick up, apparently, on my mage. Is one thing that I haven't picked up with the chocolates, outside the new stuff from this year. So maybe it's 600 I actually need then. Ugh. We'll see if I've got the enthusiasm to do this for much more than just the first 100. Two more. Boom, 100. That'll do. Right, let's go get me bow. I ordered a pizza in Dundee that went in the fryer. Deep fried pizza. Now that's an interesting twist. There we go. Bow. Yoink. Gotcha. Gotcha. Where'd you go? Ta-da! Another piece of Mog I'm never going to use. More Mog that I'm never going to use. Technically 4 more that I need from here. I guess I have to be on the mage to get the polymorph thing to show. Maybe not, I don't know. Brits take a finished meal, add another meal's worth of calories in crust, call it a pie, then add another meal in terms of chips to the side of it. That's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it. It's the reason why we all die young. It's all good. Is there any value in killing this big duck? There was once upon a time, but I can't remember if there is anymore. Was he part of the daily quests? Hang on, let's finish the daily quest at least. The foul connection. Or the foul concoction, sorry. Was this a brightly coloured egg? These quests don't seem to make any sense. These must be linked to achievements or something back in the day that I've all done, so there's no need to do these, I don't think, anymore, really. Except DuckTales for another brightly coloured egg. Turns me into a duck. Gather information. Yeah, I think if you've done Noble Garden previously in any year before, you can probably quite comfortably pass on Noble Garden this year. There doesn't seem to be much that's that interesting. From a goal-making perspective, obviously there's the pet and the mount, but they're historically over-farmed, and it would be more of a test of your sanity to go around picking up 500 eggs for every single mount. I think more than anything else. I tend to live by the theory that it's not a bad play waiting until towards the end of the event and buying up like 20 of the mounts, because they're being absolutely blasted out for cheap. And I wonder with warbands this year whether the price of the mount will tank even harder. or whether there will be people that like try and spread them out. I don't know. If you're doing cross-realm selling, maybe there's an opportunity, but I wouldn't say there's too much in this. A few new appearances this year. Oh yeah, picking up all of these disguises. This is the one that's like a multi-year achievement thing, isn't it? The duck disguiser. Click the golden egg heirloom. If the mob is up, kill it with nearby players. Golden egg heirloom. Yoink. Person needs to drag the big egg to the nest to spawn him. The enemy will require a group. Drag the big egg. I don't see a big egg. What am I missing here? Oh, huge golden egg. Feels like one of those things you shouldn't be able to miss. I'm going to assume it's just not spawned, that's why everybody's lurking. I don't know if I'm going to be bothered waiting for this rare to spawn. I don't think he particularly does much of anything anyway. Yeah, Noble Garden I think is something that I'm probably... Are you kidding me? Now he spawns. Wait, what? Yeah, ignore that. I'm pretty sure you can pass on Noble Garden if you've done it in previous years. Gather some chocolate eggs if you want for the new mogs, but I'm not sure there's too much to this. Already known. I know how to do the pink duck disguise. Well, I'll have a white duck disguise then. The duck disguiser. We already know it. We must have done all of this. Must have done all of this. Right. There doesn't seem to be too much about Noble Garden. Boys and girls, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. We're going to have quite a jam-packed end of the week this week with the new patch coming out, the new event to blast through, and so I'm going to take it a little bit easier today. And of course, technically, it's still the end of Easter, so there's going to be some Twitch drops kicking off tomorrow, so come stop by. Well, actually, for tomorrow's stream, they won't be active. Wednesday's stream, they'll be up and running. There's a new watch time pet for if you're watching over on Team Twitch. Yeah, come say hi on the Discord if you're not there already. Thank you for stopping by today. Enjoy the rest of your 4-day vacation if you're on one. And I will, I'll catch you all next time. Have a good one, boys and girls. Peace.